student, how are you all? Welcome all of you. Dear student, do you remember what we have been discussed in the previous chapter of the civics? So previous chapter that we have been discussed in the civics is what is a government. Okay, let me know some of the things that you might have been remembered from the chapter. So let me know some of the knowledge what you have been gathered from the previous chapter. So first of all, do you remember what are the three levels of government? The three levels of government are local government, state government and central government. Very good. Then next, name the different forms of government. Do you remember what are the two main forms of the government? Good. The two main forms of the government are monarchy and democracy. Next, what do you understand by universal adult franchise? Anyone who will answer? Okay, very good. Universal adult franchise means the adult who are 18 years and above, they can cast their vote irrespective of their caste, creed and religion. Okay, so there are so many things we have been discussed about the government. The government is very much essential for us. Why we need a government? So government has doing lots of things for us. So these are the things we have been discussed in the previous chapter. So my dear students, today let us see what we are going to discuss. So today we are going to discuss the key elements of a democratic government. So now dear students, in this chapter what we are going to read about some of the key elements that influence the working of a democratic government. So what are the things mainly includes in this chapter? Let us see. The first one is the people's participation. So how the people's participation in the process of democratic government, that we are going to be discussed here. Then the next we are going to discuss the resolution of conflicts. So conflicts that we are going to be discussed, what is the conflicts and how the government is resolving the conflicts that we will be discussed here. Then next, the equality and justice. So these are the key elements that we have to be discussed in this chapter. So dear students, let us introduce this chapter. So now in this chapter, first of all, you might be going to get, you might be know about the South Africa. How many of you know about the South Africa? Good. The South Africa is a country that located in the continent of Africa. So it is a country that has been located in the southernmost part of the continent of Africa. So now here, this South Africa is a country that you are going to get that in that country there was a law that was being practiced, and that government was being practiced earlier, a law that was called as apartheid law. Okay, so here is a story that has been given here about Maya Naidu. So the Maya Naidu, she has been discussing something about her mother, because she was been cleaning with her mother, and with that small box she has been found some short books, then newspapers, articles and all that. And along with that she has been found some pictures of a school going students. And after that she has been asked her mother that, my mother, what is this? What this picture is? Then her mother replied that this is the picture of the school going students. His name was Hector Neveldo, and he was being shot dead by the police. Then Maya Naidu was surprisingly asked her mother, why? What happened? Then her mother explained about the South Africa, how was the South Africa before 1994. So now we have to understand what is this apartheid. So apartheid law is there, but what is an apartheid law? So this in the South Africa, as I told you that it was being governed by an apartheid law. So what is an apartheid? Apartheid means a separation on the basis of race. So the people has been divided here on the basis of race. So different races are there, black people, white people, colored people. So like the different races are there. So these people in the South Africa, this has been divided on the basis of the races. So people has been divided. So this apartheid was an unfair political and social system in South Africa, where a minority white population rule over the black majority. So in South Africa, the maximum people were the black people. So the original people of the South Africa were the black people, and they are in the majority. But whereas the white people, they are in the minorities. They were the imperialist country, they were from the England. So these people, the English people, they have been dominating the white people. So under this apartheid, the blacks were not allowed to vote and were discriminated against. So the black people were not allowed to vote. They were discriminated by the white people. They had poor access to the public service. They have been not given the public service. They have separate schools, buses, hospitals, ambulance, so many things. So, and even they are not access to their own country's natural resources. They are not able to use their own country's resources. So they have been totally separated. Separate bus stop. When you are standing for a bus, the black has to be standing in the separate bus stop. The white has to be stopped. They have to be standing in the separate places for the bus. So like that, they has been discriminated in a different way. So the good ambulance will be taken by the white people. The whenever they are damaged or some bad ambulance has been given to the black people. So these are the problems that have been seen. Both schools, all the schools were separated, bus were separated. So these are the things that are there. So lots of problems that has been faced by the black Indian peoples. Okay. So like that, the Hector Neveldo also, he has been faced a problem because he was wanted to learn his own language. His language is Zulu, but these English people, they have been pressurized them to learn the African language. But the Hector Neveldo, he wanted to learn his own language, and for that he has been wanted to learn his language, and because of that reason, along with some friends, he has been make a demonstration, and he made a demand that we want to learn Zulu language. So at that time, the police has been shot him, and he was been died. So he was only 11 years old. So these are the things that has been happened. So later on, what happened? A group of people of the South Africa, known as the African National Congress. So later on, these problems when facing problems are going on in the South Africa. So the people wanted to fight against this system, and because of that reason, the South African people, they gathered and they formed a group, or we can call it a political type of association, which was known as African National Congress. And this African National Congress was led by one of the very important leaders. His name was Nelson Mandela. And the people under him, they struggled against the apartheid and helped the South Africa to become the independent, or we can say that to be a republic in the year 1994. So the Africa people, they have been come out from this law after a long struggle under the leadership of Nelson Mandela in the year 1994. So dear student, just you remember what type of law that was being practiced in South Africa before 1994. It is a very harassed law that was been applied in South Africa before 1994. The original natives of the South African people, they faced lots of problems, and because of that reason, the people of South Africa, they have been fight, and later on they have been overcome, and they became independent in the year 1994. So now just I want to show you some thing about this one. The pictures that you are going to see here. The people, we can say race. What is the race you see? Race refers to the person's physical characteristics such as bone structure and skin, hair or eye color. So we can see that these are the races. Okay, so the people on the basis of different, that is the skin color, the people were called to be as race. They may have bone structure may be different, their skin may be different, their color, hair, eye color, so many things that are different. So in South Africa, so the people were divided, as I told you that they have been divided on the basis of white, black, Indian and the color, etc. Okay. So next, you see the picture of the Nelson Mandela. As I told you that the most important leader of the South Africa, who has been fight against the apartheid law. So he was Nelson Mandela. So Nelson Mandela was an African political activist, and on the 27th of April 1994, he was made the first president of South Africa, and he became the first president of South Africa in the year 1994. 1894, and he became the first black people from the Africa who became the president. So just we have to remember Nelson Mandela, one of the great leader like the Mahatma Gandhi. So he was also popularly known to be as Mahatma in South Africa. Okay, next topic, let us see participation. People's participation, as we have been discussed. So now participation. So next topic we have to discuss the participation. The next important topic which you are going to get, the key elements. So in the key elements, first we are going to get about the participation. So in a democracy, the government is elected by the people. So a government is elected for a fixed period. So in a democracy, the government is elected by the people. So they have been elected by the people, and the government that has been elected for a fixed period. So in case of India, the government is elected for a period of 5 years. So in our country, the government is elected for how many years? For 5 years. So after that, people get a chance to elect a new government through popular vote. So we cast our vote and we elect our government. So again, we get this chance after how many years? After 5 years. So we, at a regular interval of 5 years, we used to get this chance to vote our people. So elections are the way to assure people's participation in the formation of government. So election is the way through which we know how many people are participation in the formation of government, how many people cast their vote, how many percentage. So again, the thing is that if the government is doing good, so if the people are satisfied with their performance, if they are taking good responsibility for working of the government, then what the people used to do, they used to re-elect the government for another term. So after 5 years, they may be doing for another 10 years, or if they are doing them good. But if they are not able to do their work properly, if the people are not satisfied, then people have chance by the process of election, by voting, they can change their government. So it has said that if the people are not satisfied with the performance of government, then a new government can be replaced by the old. So we have the power. So we have the power to change our government. Okay, so this is the participation of the people that we have to see. So our government, so as you know, what is our government? Our government, country's government is the democracy government. So I think you remember democracy, so you will try to remember the democracy as I told you that. So democracy is a government of the people, for the people and by the people. So it is the government in which the supreme power is vested in the people. So we have have the power to change the government, to make the government. So it is the full power is in the hand of the people in the democracy. So we are involved in the process of government directly or indirectly. Okay, through the system of representation, usually involving periodically held free election. So as you know, so the election used to be held. We send our representative as MLA, MP, and they are our representative, and they will work for us. So if they will work, then again we will vote for another term. But if they will not work for us, what demands we have been given to him, if that MLA or MP he has been not doing that, then we have the power to change him. So this is a very good participation of the people in the process of government. Okay, so these are some pictures from which you can know the people's participation. So these women, they are standing in a queue. So they are making queue for voting. Okay, so in hand they are having the voter ID. The voter ID card you might be know. So this is an electronic voting machine. So nowadays this machine has been used for the process of election. So people, earlier we have the ballot box, the ballot papers and all that are there. So now this has been replaced to the electronic voting machine. Okay. Next. So now next we have to see what were the other ways of participation. The other way of participation, in addition to election, there are various other ways also in the participation in the governance. So in the governance, we can also participate in the other way. So a few such methods includes dharnas. So dharnas, then rallies, then strike, then signature campaigns and other forms of protest. So that a particular social group may be staging a protest, demand job reservation, another group may be staging for the protest of demand of higher wages. The list of demands can be endless. So there are so many demands of the people, because in a democracy there are so many peoples are there. The people, they have different demands. They have, so to fulfill their demands, they also have to give their demands. So in what way they are going to be do that? So in the process of dharnas, in the process of rallies, strike, signature, many a time you might be seeing these things in the TV, radios, newspapers, magazines, you might be heard. So these are some pictures. With the help of these pictures, you can understand this process. Okay. So this is the dharna. Then another picture showing the rally. So this is the dharna. The people are standing here. So the banking employees, they are demanding for their hiking of their salary. So they are getting, they might be get some less salary. So they are sitting for the dharnas. Okay, this is a rally. So long lines of people you might be seeing here. This is a rally. Okay, so this is this might be a picture of the political group rally. So the BJP, Congress, like that, they are doing a long rally. Okay, these are also the methods of the participation. Okay, then another pictures also you see here. This is the picture of the signature campaign. So the girls give her signature against the ragging. So nowadays many of you might be heard about that ragging. The raggings are going on in colleges, universities, in some places. So the girls are giving her signature against this ragging. So this is called signature campaign. Then another you see strike. This is a picture of strike. So they are also strike for the higher pay. So these are the different demands. These are the different process of the participations of the people. Okay. So others way of participation also we have the mass media, because the mass media like TV, newspaper, magazines and other agency also play a major role in highlighting the public issues and modeling the public opinion. So mass media, you know what is mass media? Mass media means the technology that is intended to reach the millions audience. The mass media reaches to us. Whatever the things that has been going on in the country, what has been things that has been doing by our government. So everything that we know with the help of the TV, newspaper, magazines, so many things. So these are called as mass media. So it is the primary means of communication used to reach the vast majority of general public. So mass media is the means of communication through which we know what is been going on in our country, what has been doing by the government. So it is the link, the mass communication is the link between the government and the people. So demand of the government will be known by the government with the help of mass media, and what the government has been doing to us, that we will know with the help of mass media. Okay, so these are the picture of mass media. So mass media includes the internet, then television, radio, magazines, newspaper. So these are the things. So mass media, about mass media and these things you are going to be get in the next higher classes. So the next topic that we are going to be discuss about the resolution of conflicts, that is need to be resolved conflicts. So in a democratic country, another important rule of a democratic country is the resolution of conflicts. So in any country, problem could be linked to conflicts and resulted in unpleasant and disharmony. So we have lots of peoples, there are so many different peoples we are living together. So there might be some, sometimes what happen, some different groups of people, they might be clash with each other for different regions, region wise or state to state. So the people might be clash with each other. So at that time what will happen, there might be linked to some conflicts that will be resulted to whatever unpleasant and disharmony. So at that time, whatever there could be the situation when two people or two groups feel that they are not being treated fairly or being discriminated on the grounds of culture, region, religion, economic background, caste, race, etc. Then at that time, what happened? The government, it is the responsibility of the government to resolve such type of conflicts. So region-wise, okay. So region-wise, the people from one region and another region, they may be feel that they have been discriminated, okay. They on the basis of region, then religion, okay, Hindu, Muslim, sometimes like that. Some poor, rich people, poor people like that. Upper caste, lower caste, then the races on the basis of races and all that like. So there may be so many conflicts that has been occurred. So at that time, who has to be taken responsibility to solve this type of problem? So this. Okay, dear students. So as we have been discussed about the need for the resolution of conflict, so the responsibility that has to be taken by the government to resolve the conflicts. Okay, so in a democratic country, the government is responsible for the resolution of conflict. So here is an example. Let us take an example which has been given in our book. So the water flowing between two states or a country could lead to a serious conflict. Sometimes what happens regarding the sharing of the water, river water, that may be between the two countries or the two states, some conflicts that has been arisen. So here is an example that you are going to get, that is about the conflicts between the Tamil Nadu and the Karnataka. So it is very long. There were conflicts regarding the sharing of the Kaveri water between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. So they led to be conflicts many a time. So the Kaveri water sharing disputes, it's a very old one. From many people used to see that this has been, conflict has been going from the time of the British period. Okay, so many people, many districts, they are depend from the both states on the river of Kaveri water for irrigation, and even the city of Bangalore also depend on the water from that has been coming from Bangalore. So Bangalore city is depend the water from the Kaveri river. So now here what we used to be see that in this case, what we have to see that the government is to be take responsibility. Okay, so this is the picture of the dam of the river Kaveri. So from this picture you are going to get the image of the Kaveri river dam. So if these are releasing the water from this dam, then they are getting, if not, then they are not getting. So like that, these problems that has been facing time to time. So many a time this has been taking place. Okay, so Kaveri water dispute is one of the major problem in our country between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. Then the next topic we are going to get, that is equality and justice. So you see, because of old age-old caste system, there has been a long history of inequality in our country. So regarding the caste system, many people could not get opportunity to study and to take uncertain occupation because of the caste system. So caste system is one of the major problem of inequalities in our country. So this caste system we can call as age-old system that has been practiced in our country. Many people were discriminated on the basis of caste system. Okay, so many people from downward section, they did not even get basic human rights also. Okay, they are not allowed to go to the temple, they are not allowed to go for a common place to take the water. So there are so many problems that has been faced by the lower caste people. So lower caste people has been discriminated by the upper caste people. So many of you know this is a common problem in our country. Okay, so then another, after independence, the government has given so many guidelines to remove these inequalities and injustice in our society, from our society. So the government has taken this responsibility to make all the citizens of our country equal. So the government has to be ensured that nobody should be suffered because of inequality. So it is the responsibility of our government to make all the people equal. Okay, then another problem is also there, you know, the gender-based inequalities in our country, the difference between boys and girls. So this is also in social living. So this type of inequality should be removed from our country, and that responsibility that has to be taken by the government of our country. Okay. So as we know, the equality is the most important key elements of a democracy. So if the people of a country are not treated equally, we cannot be have a democracy. So in a democratic country, equality is very important. Everyone should be equal. So the main responsibility of democracy is to giving impartial justice and equality to all. Okay. So equality and justice we are called to be as the two sides of the same coin, and they are inseparable to each other. So both are necessary. Our one of the most important leader, you know, that is Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, who has struggled long for the rights of the Dalit or the untouchables. So he was known to be as the leaders of the Dalit. So laws were made to abolish the untouchability. Then and we can say here, without justice and equality, there could be no basis of democracy. So there should be the need of equality and justice. So if there will be no equality and justice, then we cannot call it there is a democracy in our country. So this is the picture that is showing that all these children are equal. Okay. Then this is the balancing to show the equality, so that you understand what is meant by equality. So here just I want to give a picture to show you an equality, the difference between the equality and justice. So you see this is the pictures of equality. Here the three boys are standing in the same height of the box to watch the game from the back side of the wall. But what happened? While standing on the same height of the box, but their height of the boys are different. So at the time what happened? All the boys cannot watch the game. So now here, to make equality, we have been given the same height of the box, but to make equality, what happened? The three boys are not able to watch the game. Only two boys is watching, but another one is still not able to. So now here we have to do justice. So to make justice, what it has been done, you see in the next picture, you see the smaller height boy, he has been given the two box. The middle one, he has been given only one box. Then the heighter one, he has been not given the box. But now here, you see that all the three are enjoying equally. So this is the justice. So we have to also do justice along with the equality. Okay, dear students. Now I think you have been understood about the chapter. So next I am going to give you some of the homework. So all of you note down. First question: what do you mean by apartheid? Second question, you note down. Name the party that fought against the system of apartheid. Then next, who is responsible for helping to resolve the conflicts or differences? Then next you see, name the various races that live in South Africa. So what are the different people that are living in the South Africa? Then who was the leader of South Africa? So now here one important thing we have to say lastly, that say no to racism. We should not say. So all we are equal. We should not be discriminated. No one on the basis of race. We all are equal. Okay. So myself Mukunda Bora, TGT Social Science from JNB, Karmian Mangwan, Assam, Shillong region. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is the end of my presentation.